Did you know that a play in 1623 inspired the Kimi to Lulala ending? In Hamlet, a tragedy written by Shakespeare, we meet the character Ophelia, who was later depicted in many paintings throughout the history of art. Those paintings were a huge inspiration behind the visuals and the ideas of Kimi to Lulala. Ophelia is a character in the Shakespearean play Hamlet. She's a woman who goes mad after her father's death through the hands of her beloved Hamlet. After her father's passing, she descends into madness. She only talks through riddles and rhymes and meets her end when she climbs a willow tree, the branch breaks, and she falls into a river and drowns. This moment was later depicted into many arts and many paintings throughout the history of art. And as we see here on the screen, they're usually very beautiful and very poetic, just like her death is described in the play in a very poetic way. This one that we're showing on screen right now is a painting by Friedrich Wilhelm. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And this one is a painting by John Everett Millais. And those are some of the most iconic Ophelia paintings throughout history. In this video, we are checking out a super special interview that happened in Animage November 2025 issue. And the article was called Ophelia in Reverse, an idol moving toward life. This is an interview with Kondo Mari, who was in charge of the storyboard and direction from Kimi to Lulala, the second ending from You and Idol PreCure. This is a very special ending, obviously, and it's always a very beautiful one. I love it. I love the song. But knowing what went after the ideas, what went behind the ideas and choices for this ending makes it feel even more special. So the visual theme of the second ending is explained by Kondo Mari as such. She says that Murase Aki, who is one of the producers of the PreCure franchise, Murase Aki mentioned that when she was commissioning the lyrics for Kimi to Lulala, they wanted to reach out to people that were experiencing loneliness. She wanted the lyrics to shine a light on anyone who felt lonely. And so the visual direction of Kimi to Lulala had to reflect this theme as well. Loneliness is something that everyone experiences in certain points of their lives. And in this ending, Cure Idol will embody that feeling, because as the center of Idol PreCure, she might feel isolated at times. But the storyline from Idol showcases her finding friends and stepping out into the sunlight. From a production perspective, this ending will also symbolize a Sunday morning, because it will use a backlight as a main technique while trying to render natural light in a beautiful way. So the interviewer asks if this is the story of Cure Idol singing alone, of a character as Cure Idol who sang alone all this time, finally finding friends to sing alongside her. And Kondo Mari says that it's exactly what they were trying to accomplish in this ending. She starts by saying that at the start of the ending, as we can see here, the camera is positioned as slightly higher, and Cure Idol's expression is subtly mature and wistful, even though she has a smile in her face. And we can see it in some moments like here. There is a smile, there is a positive expression, but it's still subtle. But then whenever the chorus arrives and there is a different feeling in the song, her expression will brighten up. There are some lyrics in the song that say, shining the spotlight on each other, or conveying that friends are the ones who bring light to life's moments of loneliness. And so we see a completely rebranded expression in Cure Idol's face. She will transition into that from the first moment to the second moment of the ending. And it is done in a very beautiful way. There is a section of the song that says, Kiseki no ribon de tsunagatte tanda ne. Right? And the interviewer asks about this specific section because there is a symbolic cut right there. Let's check this cut out. Please, Toy, I don't want to get copyrighted, but I just want to show it. Where is it? Here. See, when she says Kiseki no ribon de tsunagatte tandane, which means we're connected by the miracle ribbon. And there is this flower cut, and they all hold their hands like this. So she explained that Yuri Nazia, who was the one who did the choreography for Kimi to Lulala, they said that this choreography is full of storytelling. And so they wanted to bring out the storytelling in the visual part of the ending as well. So in this moment, the 5 of them will hold their hands, and they used a close-up of a flower and to connect the holding hands to a flower shape, because this will showcase that the ribbon is connecting everyone, which is a very beautiful moment in the ending. I find this very charming. And there's also another part that is mentioned here in the interview, which is this one by Curewink. Which is this one. The hand movements that Kyun does. And so this is what the interviewer had to say. There is a line, Honki no akash cha mi in, let's cha up. So Kyun will make a hand pose, and her expression is absolutely cute. And so Kondo Mari she says that you can really feel the love of all of the animators, of the digital animators who worked on this ending. And in this scene specifically, the animator who did it is called Yamaguchi Yohei. And the movement will follow the choreography exactly. And there is a framing here that is somehow resemblant of a selfie. And so whenever they were animating this moment, they emphasized by adjusting the direction so that her hands would frame her eyes exactly in the right spot. So it might not be an easy thing to do at all. So there is another moment in the ending that is also very iconic, which is this transition right here, where the camera spins around, and I hit my mic. And this moment right here was to give a smartphone camera vibe. And they wanted to make this shot feel emotionally engaging. They wanted to make it modern, like a real selfie here. And this is the moments that they sing, which is the transition to the chorus, right here. Which is another moment that is very impactful. And the spinning camera ties into the theme of loneliness, because in this second part of the ending, the stage is flooded at their feet. We can see this water effect. And in the first half of the ending, the stage is across the water's surface. So it's a transition from night to morning. This represents the idea from moving from a lonely fictional world into a sunlit real world. We can see this if we compare the start of the ending in a darker area, and then we transition into the daylight, which is completely different. Another thing that we need to point out here, I already want to point out, is that in here we can see them performing for a stage full of people. There's lots of people watching them, as we can see. And then on the second part, they're performing by themselves. Like there's no one around while they're performing. This is also going to be important. But what we're talking about here is the transition from this night to morning, from this lonely fictional world to a sunlit real world. And here comes Ophelia. The idea from this ending was to invert the imagery of the painting Ophelia, which is what we were talking about at the start of the video. So the visuals were inspired by Shakespearean image. Because in Shakespeare's Hamlet, as Condomari says, the heroine Ophelia will sink into the water while she is singing among the flowers. And this is the scene where she dies. And in You and Idol, in Kimi to Lulala, this is going to be reversed. Cure Idol will rise from the lonely depths. And while she rises, she will scatter petals as she sings and dances. She is moving towards life. And this is, to Condomari, the message of PreCure. For her, PreCure is a show that is meant to bring hope to children. And it is also a show that airs on Sunday mornings. And so this idea of a Sunday morning is also going to be important for Kimi to Lulala. We're going to see it later in the interview. And so rather than a tragedy or a beautiful tragedy, as we see in Ophelia, her death is always painted as something tragic, but also beautiful and poetic. In here, we're going to see joy as being beautiful, joy as being poetic. This is a message that Condomari believes is in the core of PreCure. And so she says that moments like this really resonate emotionally with people. And so there is also the idea of the flowers blooming, which is closely related to the idea of Ophelia, because Ophelia is drowning among flowers and she's going from life to death among flowers. And here we're going into loneliness to happiness, but we can also say from death to life in Kimi to Lulala, and that's when the flowers will burst, also bringing in the flowers and the ideas of flowers. And so this was also another thing that they needed to include in the ending, which is something magic, like a magic happening. And that's when they added the idea of flowers. And so they had the cures performing in a circle and bringing the flowers out of that circle, bringing their kiraki lights together so that the flowers could bloom, just like a magic trick. It's a very beautiful moment indeed, right? And so this was the perfect moment. And they also mentioned that the idea of the flowers floating on the water's surface is a striking visual appeal. And we can see that in lots of shots from this ending, and it's really, really beautiful. Where is it? Here, for example. And Condomari says that with today's CG, it is possible to go beyond simple reflections. And so they added countless flowers floating on water. And the effects lead, who is called Sudo Yu, took on this challenge. And they also had a very careful way of dealing with this, because they made the flowers move together with the characters' steps. And this is clearly not something easy for them to do. And we can really see the flowers moving down here as they're dancing. And this is really crazy. If we pay attention to any of the petals, like, we're gonna see something different every single time, because the petals are really moving, respecting the movement of the characters. This is passion, this is talent, and this is hard work. And Condomari even said that Sudoyu's work with the petals really blew her away after it was done. And so there is also the importance of the not the fan service, but also the facial expressions of the characters. And we have a very important moment from Cure Idol, which is a very cute moment in the ending. Where is it? Here. This one. In Kondomari's opinion, it really captures Cure Idol's personality. But this also happens with all of the characters. The flowers appear in the chorus, they burst, and then there is a beautiful transition from this scene to the cherry blossom tree scene, which was also done with Cure Idol as a reference. And this is a real talent of someone called Takahashi Nana. This is another professional who worked on this ending, and one of the things she did was this shot right here from Cure Idol. Where is it? This moment, even though it's very cute, it's very short, but it's very beautiful. The way Cure Idol turns around and her face goes towards the cherry blossom tree. Very, very beautiful. And then the cherry blossom tree scene starts. And this was a very impactful moment done by this amazing professional, Takahashi Nana. And the interviewer even says that Cure Idol's turning face just before the cherry blossom tree appears has a very wonderful expression. And this was very, very hard. This was a scene that was done, and it had lots of tweaks. It had lots of corrections. Even after Kondomari gave her approval, Yamaguchi kept on working on this scene, adjusting her face in lots of different ways. And Yamaguchi and Takahashi Nana are both professionals who were the ones who worked the most on this ending. And the balance of the two of them was perfect based on Kondomari's words. And the animation was rich and full of details. And so another detail of this ending is the fact that there are no spectators around in the second part of the performance. As we said earlier, if we look at the start of this ending, we see this beautiful stage, this beautiful pedal stage, and there's lots of fans watching the performance. We can see the fans here, we can see the fans cheering, we can see them enjoying the ending. And then in here, we can see that they're performing by themselves in a park. Just them. So why is it like this? Since they're idols, since they're always performing on a stage, why did they choose for them to not perform in front of people in this second part? So Kondomari said that the previous ending had the characters performing towards an audience. We saw that in Trio Dreams. At the end, they are performing in front of a huge audience. In here, they wanted more of a private, personal feel. And she mentions one specific thing that usually happens. You know how middle and high schoolers sometimes gather in a park to dance? When we're adults and we're going around in a park and we see that, we think with us, this is a precious moment that will never come back. There is a brightness that is very irreplaceable and unique to that age. And so this moment is to represent that. It's that specific moment that will live with us forever in our memories, but we will never be able to recreate it. That is why they wanted this moment to be a private one, just for the five of them. I found it very beautiful. And so the cityscape that also appears in this part, in this shot right here, is specifically created for this sequence. And so the Kondomari said that it's not entirely original. It's a model that is used by the art team for reference when it comes to the backgrounds. So it's supposed to match the Idol PreCure series, but refining the base model was really tough. And she also mentions that if she were to give an award to the most hardworking award for this ending, she would give to the background modeling team because she says that this was really, really a very tough job. And so she ends this interview by sharing a message for the fans. And she says that this ending was a lot of work, but she's glad that they were able to complete it so beautifully. For her, CG is all about creating images with light, and they were able to capture both the strength of the CG and also the thematic message in the visuals. The lighting and the composition in this ending had a lot of effort going onto it. Every year, there is a bittersweet feeling whenever PreCure is ending, but she hopes that the viewers will cherish the moments that we're still having with those 5 girls as something to be precious alongside the series climax. This is very exciting. And apart from this interview, there were also some curiosities related to this ending that were also shared in this magazine, in this article. One of them is the fact that Kimi to Lulala is the ending to feature the One-san pair, and this is the ending after Zukyun Kiss appear, and so there is a cut that specifically will focus on them, and we can see that it's a little after this, right? It's when we have the solos with both of them coming forward. And so there is going to be specific moments for Zukyun Kiss in this ending because it is close to them. And there's also the heart tree that is an important place, an important moment in You and Idol. And the heart tree appears in the final group shot near the end. And there is this beautiful backdrop moving from the Hanamichi town backdrop to the heart tree. And this was something that they also wanted to focus on. And they also mention a little bit about the song Kimi to Lulala itself. They say that this song is a medium tempo, and it's supposed to bring a gentle, elegant beauty to the overall presentation. The latter half of the ending will highlight the familiar park with the heart-shaped tree, and the rising morning sunlight will add to the sparkling and eye-catching visuals. This is also supposed to be related to the fact that PreCure airs on Sunday mornings. This is also another relation into what Kondo Mari was mentioning, as in bringing life, as in bringing something special to the kids that are watching the show. The light will come out eventually. This is a message in the it related to PreCure. We can really see the light coming into the scene. It's a very beautiful scene. I find it incredible. Just looking at the light coming from the side and changing the color of the sky and changing the reflection in the water. It's really incredible. And it's supposed to evoke the feeling of a Sunday morning. That is a special moment for the kids who love PreCure, for the kids who get inspired and hopeful because of PreCure. And so they also mentioned that near the end, there are close-up shots of Kyun Kyun, Wink, and Cure Idol singing The Swirling Flowers. It is that moment that we see the flowers in the water. It's this moment right here. And it's mentioned to be one of the highlights of this ending. And they also mentioned that the lively facial expressions and the acting that went behind it will bring each character to life very beautifully, and for us to pay close attention to it because it is something really, really special from this ending. And to finish, we have the idea happening from the first half to the second half. The first half is supposed to showcase us the flower petal stage, which is very beautiful. And they wanted to include something very, very simple. It's a very simple idea here that they wanted to include. They wanted classic motifs, singing and dancing women, giving energy to people around them is something that's existed for a long time. And I really like this that Kondo Mari has said, because we're talking about we're discussing and talking and checking out a season about idols. Idols are either girls or boys or women or men who dance and sing to make people happy, to bring happiness to people's lives, etc. There's lots of ways you can interpret an idol activity, but it's very interesting that she mentions that having women or sing and dance for a crowd is something that has happened throughout history of humanity, of art. And I really like this perspective and how she brought this very simple idea of just bringing them and putting them on stage, you know, and it's also very closely related to what this season is all about. And so the second half is the Heart Tree Park that we see in this beautiful, beautiful shot. And the idea for them to choose this spot is explained here. There is the idea of being a private spot for them. And also because in the first episode, this is where Uta tells Purirun that this is her favorite place. And so Kondomari remembered that and wanted to include this spot in the end, in this ending as well. And this scene is set on a morning after the rain. And you can really see the water in the ground and reflecting what they're doing. And this is a sequence that flows over autumn to winter. And so the sun is also rising, creating the lightning effect from the right side, because from the southeast, the sun is rising from the southeast. And for us to finish, a little bit about the choreography of You and Idol. I really like this part, especially this part where Idol. I love this part of the choreography. It's so good. And the choreography is supposed to evoke a sense of unity among the 5 members. And so that is why we have the 5 of them performing the same actions. They are repeating simple and catchy steps, even though this is not an easy dance. At least I don't think it is. But they are supposed to be performing similar and specific dance moves. Like, we don't see them performing different dance moves. They're all performing the same. And this motion capture was performed by 5 dancers from JBBK Lab, including Yuri Nazia, who has been working on PreCure dances for a long time. And Yuri Nazia is specifically Cure Idol in this ending. So it's a very important dance. Girl, this starting scene is so hard. This choreography is so good, but the hand movement is really hard. But you can really see the unity in how they dance. I love it. It's very beautiful. You and Idol PreCure is really bringing the references and this beautiful ending being inspired and, you know, just having this beautiful idea of turning the Ophelia idea again upside down is really incredible. I really like it, and I think that they just had the best idea that they could have had. They got a very iconic reference from culture, from art culture, and they got it in a very beautiful way through a stunning animation with gorgeous visuals and a brilliant song. Kondomari and the whole team who worked on this ending, thank you very, very, very much. This was a really, really incredible ending. And knowing those things specifically about Kimi to Lulala makes it even more special.